Welcome back to Landing Zone Home. Today we're coming to you from Bryce Canyon, Utah. And news alert, the greatest adventures are not anywhere near the interstate. We're going to talk about driving adventures, how to get your RV there, and how to be safe. So stick around. We've got some good stuff for you today. Don't get me wrong, there are some great adventures along the interstate highway system, but things like Bryce Canyon here is more than 100 miles from the nearest interstate. You've got to get on the smaller roads, and quite frequently you've got to go through the mountains. We came up from Las Vegas yesterday, heading here to Ruby's Inn at Bryce Canyon, and I wanted to film some of the scenery and what the road looks like and some of the challenges. We're going to talk about how to plan your trip and how to be prepared for the smaller roads to make sure that you don't get into trouble and that you make the most of your adventure. Getting out of our comfort zone can be tough, but it's a real issue to deal with. Anxiety, thinking about going on roads you've never been on before, is something that most RVers overcome, some sooner rather than later. But the trick, I think, is to talk to people that have been in those areas, even if it's just chatting online or reading some post on Facebook or somewhere like that, and try to get an understanding of the routes that they have taken, the size of their vehicle, and how they handle the situation. Size of vehicle is very important. I think we should always know the exact height of our RV, whether it's a Class C, Class A, travel trailer, regardless. Know your maximum height, and that's usually going to be from the top of your air conditioner to the ground. Now, when you take this measurement, you do need to be hooked up to your tow vehicle if you have a trailer you're measuring. So you want to be set up as if you're going to be on the road to get an accurate measurement of your height. You'll also want to know the approximate length of your overall configuration. That's usually not that important, but in some locations there is a specific requirement, but those types of situations are very rare. There are some tools out there that can help you. There's a trucker's map or trucker's guide that will provide some information for low clearances and tunnels. I personally use RV Trip Wizard, which is a fee-based tool. With RV Trip Wizard, you can add in the height of your RV, and it'll give you a route that is going to be safe for that height. It will also identify low bridge clearances, tunnels, things of that nature. And just understanding that you're going to be able to get through safely, I think, is going to relieve a lot of your anxiety. Researching the route, of course, is important. Understanding all of the turns you're going to have on the route is important as well. I think in my books I mentioned that I try to keep the next 2 or 3 turns in my head, and this is so I can avoid surprises. When you're driving an RV, the last thing you want is a surprise. So understand your route, understand your turns, bridges, tunnels, things like that, and with time, it's going to come much easier. And you're going to be able to venture out a little bit further, go to these places that are on the other side of the mountain, so to speak, because those are really the beautiful destinations, are the ones that are a little bit difficult to get to. I know the first time I drove to Key West, I'll just say that I wasn't even sure I wanted to make that trip, but it really was an easy trip. Going down through the Keys is no problem. The only issue is once you get into Key West, it is kind of congested. So you need to know where you're going. You need to have a destination that you're going to and get there. Well, I want to talk a little bit about how we got here. We're headed over to Bryce Canyon, which is in southern Utah. We'd been spending some time in Las Vegas. We headed north on Interstate 15, about, I don't know, in rough terms, 100 miles or so. And we exited at Cedar City, Utah, and took Utah 14 east. Now this is Utah 14, and it looks real small on the map, and the signs actually said not recommended for semi trucks, and we haven't seen any, but we've seen all size RVs coming through here, and we've had no problem thus far. It's been a beautiful drive, especially coming up out of the desert lowlands and up here in the mountains. We're back into thick forest. But by the time we go down the mountains on the other side, heading toward Bryce Canyon, I got a feeling there'll be no trees down there. Also on this Utah 14, it has signs that says chains are required October 1st through, I think, March 31st. Today is October 3rd. And I know that they're putting all precautions they can in there, but obviously the temperature right now is in the low 60s. The sun is really hot, so there's no threat of that today. However, I'm sure they have probably had snow this time of the year previously. So I'm not worried about that. I also know that on I-70, they've got rules similar to that. I don't have the exact dates, but along this time of year, you're supposed to have chains in your vehicle for all wheels on I-70 going across the Rockies into Denver, or the other way around going toward Grand Junction. It's beautiful up through here. Like I said, this is October 3rd. The aspen have started to change color, and they've been really beautiful coming up through here. Okay, Highway 14's came to an end. We're gonna go north on 89 to Bryce Canyon. And it looks like it's about 36 miles from here.
Now, turn left.
There's a gas station right here at this intersection, which, if you're worried about fuel out here, that's probably a good thing. Make sure you come with as much fuel as you can. Don't come empty. All right, that sign says 38 miles to the canyon. We're headed to Ruby's Inn RV Camp, which is supposed to be less than a mile outside of Bryce Canyon. Still continuing north on Highway 89, and the highway's been great. Surfaced well, big shoulder on it. Very little traffic right now. Beautiful mountains off into the distance. We're coming up on the turn to Bryce Canyon. It's going to be a turn back to the east on Highway 12. And from there, it should be pretty much a straight shot on in to Ruby's Inn RV Park and Bryce Canyon. Just entered Red Canyon. Quite spectacular here. They put these scenic overlooks or scenic parking areas along the way. Sometimes you can get in with an RV, sometimes you can't. I did, however, see a sign about a tunnel that's up here a couple of miles away, and the posted height restriction was 13.6. Now that should get most of you big rigs in there. I remember the fifth wheel I had, I measured it, and it was exactly 13.6 from the top of the air conditioner to the ground. So hopefully they pad in an extra inch or two for air. Here's the tunnel. Coming up on Ruby's Inn RV Park. Well, let me just round this out by saying confidence building is key. Build some confidence, get a few trips under your belt, get out there and get a little more experience. And I think you're really going to enjoy what you find out there beyond the interstate system. Get on the back roads, the small roads, and be adventurous. Well, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, tell your friends about it, share it. If you haven't already clicked that subscribe button, please do it right now. And until next time, thanks for watching.